This video will try to make it easier for you to know when to use the definite article and when to use the indefinite article. Bestemt artikel or Ubestemt artikel. If you have never heard of articles, you might like to prepare for this video by watching this video first. First, a little background knowledge. For a language to be useful, its speakers must agree on certain rules. This is not grammar. This is about unwritten social rules for all languages. In Danish, and in your language too, we agree that we talk about something that is agreed common knowledge to both the speaker and the listener. That means that the speaker knows what he's talking about and the listener knows what is being talked about. And we say something that is new to the listener. If we break this rule, people will either say, "What are you talking about?" if we break the first rule, or "I already know that," if we break the second rule. Either way, we annoy people if we break one of the rules. Now, in Danish, we start a sentence with what we are talking about. The beginning of the sentence is the topic, the theme, and very often the subject. Oh, is that why it's called the subject? Yeah, probably. Okay, so we start with something that is common knowledge. You might say that we start with old information. Okay, I'll draw you a picture. Think of this as a graphic representation of news value. Let's say we're going to talk about my neighbor Peter. So we start our sentence with him. Peter is our topic. He's old news. Now comes the new information. Peter spiller fodbold. Peter plays football. So now we have the old news that we're talking about and new news, which is new information for the listener or the reader. Peter is our topic and spiller fodbold is the new information. We can expand on the news value by adding more new news. Peter spiller fodbold hver torsdag. So now, hver torsdag, every Thursday, is the newest of the news. Old, newer, newest. Unimportant, more important, most important. Try to think of how this works in your own language. For most European languages, this system applies to a T. If you speak Hindi, Urdu, Persian, or a related language, it's actually the opposite of Danish. And that works fine as well, as long as the speakers agree that that is the system that they'll be using. Here's an experiment you can try at home. You know how sometimes the subtitles on your TV just seem to race past and you never have time to read the entire text? Well, if you only read the last half of the text, you'll still understand most of what is being said. Try it. You'll need a sheet of paper and some tape. Tape a sheet of paper over the left half of the text and try to read just what you can see. You'll still get most of the new information. Don't believe me? Try taping up the right half of the text. Now you'll probably not get much out of what is being said. Fascinating. All this explains why we can jumble the words to change the meaning of our sentences. Have a look at this sentence. Hver torsdag spiller Peter fodbold. Every Thursday Peter plays football. The same words as before, but now our topic is every Thursday. Hver torsdag. Thursdays are what we are talking about. The breaking news is football. Okay, now we come to what this video is actually about. Bestemt or Ubestemt. The definite article and the indefinite article. You'll probably remember that we use the definite article, bestemt, for nouns that depict something that both the speaker and the listener know, or at least think we know. Stationen, the station. Det blå ishus, the blue ice cream shop. Min kone, my wife. Den danske sommer, the Danish summer. Istiden, the ice age. Vejret, the weather. And you probably remember that we use the indefinite article, ubestemt, for nouns that depict something that is new to the listener. Et hus, en hat, nogle penge, noget øl, mange mennesker, 20 kroner, 3 kilo kartofler. Consider this little story about my neighbor Peter. You already know Peter. He's the man who plays football on Thursdays. So we can start a sentence with him. Peter taler med en mand. We don't know anything about the man yet, so we use the indefinite article. Manden tyk. See, now we know the man. He's the man from the first sentence. Manden har en hund. We know the man. It's the fat man from the first sentence. Den tykke mand. We don't know the dog. The dog is news to us, so we use the indefinite article. Den tykke mand har en hund. Basically the same thing. Hunden har et stort ben. Now we know the dog, so we use the definite article. It's the dog from the story about Peter and the fat man. But we don't know the bone. The bone is news to us, and therefore we use the indefinite article. Manden har købt benet til hunden. See, now we know the man, the bone, and the dog, so we use the definite article. And our story ends because we've run out of new things to say. Notice how we never start a sentence with an indefinite article? Remember why? Because we start sentences with something that the listener and the speaker already know. It's got to be definite if we're talking about it. Okay, time for a recap. We use the definite article, bestemt artikel, for nouns that are common knowledge to both the speaker and the listener. We use the indefinite article, ubestemt artikel, for nouns that are not yet known by the listener. They are new to the listener. We do not start sentences with the indefinite article, ubestemt, because we have to start sentences with something that is already known by both parties. Exceptions. Are there exceptions? Well, I can think of two. En mand kommer ind i en bar med en krokodille under armen. A man comes into a bar with a crocodile under his arm. Yes, jokes are an exception. That's how we know they're jokes. And generalizations. Mange mænd kan ikke multitaske. Many men cannot multitask. So generalizations and jokes are the exception. Check out our other videos to find out how to navigate the It's Learning platform and to understand how to do the various tasks and assignments, as well as technical solutions.